Welcome. It's a Dude Sports Show live every Friday. Every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8. I'm your host, Alvin's Deuce, with Brother Mitch on the ones and twos. Thank you for tuning in. It's the Dude Sports Show live here on a Facebook Live and on Hosanna Radio and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts after the show. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get right into it. Well, playoffs is in full swing, and the Heat are tied 1-1 with the New York Knicks, and we expected that. We expected that because I said last week we should just send them back to Miami. We already got one in New York, and we already got one in New York, and now we just got to go back home and take care of business. But before I get into that, breaking news. Do you have any breaking news sound by any chance? No. Breaking news. The Milwaukee Bucks has just fired Coach Mike Budenholzer. And I repeat, the Milwaukee Bucks just fired their championship winning head coach, Mike Budenholzer. And that is huge news. As you know, Mike Budenholzer was the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks this year, and they were the number one overall seed. Of all of the NBA. They would have had a home court advantage throughout the playoffs. And they played the Miami Heat in the first round and lost in 5 games. And I'm not going to lie to you. Mike Budenholzer, he's a great head coach. He was an assistant coach for Greg Popovich for a decade plus. He was also a head coach for the Atlanta Hawks for 4 to 5 years and brought the Atlanta Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals with no superstar one point in time. Right? I don't know if y'all remember that team. The Al Horford, Atlanta Hawks, Paul Millsap, Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague. That team. He's a great coach. He came to Milwaukee. He was part of the development of the Greek Freak. And And you know, they have, you know, gone to heights that, you know, they never would have, reached if it wasn't for Mike Budenholzer at the helm. So I got to give Mike Budenholzer his credit. I got to give Mike Budenholzer his credit for, you know, the team being where it's at right now. Before he took the job, Milwaukee was not at the stature that it is today. No, it's not. It was not at the stature that it is today. And now that Mike Budenholzer has been let go, this is easily the best job available. You have three first team all defense players. You have the best player in the league, in Greek Freak. From what everybody else looks at him as the best player in the league. I think it's Steph Curry. But and you have perennial all-stars in Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Greek Freak. Brook Lopez is a first-team all-defense caliber player. And then you have young players and good role players on the bench. You have a great culture. You have a great infrastructure with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm shocked that he got fired. The reason why I'm shocked that he got fired is because he just won a championship 2 years ago. I mean, come on. Like, I'm sorry. You win a championship, you get a scholarship for 5 years, man. That's where I've come. That's where I came from. That's how I was. I've come from that time frame where, people like let's say my dog like a coach back in the day, Tom Coughlin of the New York Giants. He won 2 championships. After that, he went 3-4 years, and they barely did anything. And guess what? He earned them 3, 4, 5 extra years after winning the championship. He earned that. And to see that Mike Budenholzer only coached 2 more years after winning the championship, that is mind-boggling to me. Granted, I'm not going to lie. In the basketball circles, Mike Budenholzer, he is what you call a stubborn coach. He's a great coach, but he's a stubborn coach. What do you mean by that? What I mean by that is that during games, he is very rigid when it comes to making adjustments. He is the type of coach that is very arrogant in terms of his scheme. His mindset is, I'm going to run this, and the law of averages will work in my favor. Like, he can be getting gashed with a certain set defense that he's running, but his mindset is that eventually what he's running will eventually turn around, will eventually come to fruition in his favor. And most of the times, he's right. Most of the time, it is It is the truth. Most of the time, that is what happens. Because if that wasn't the case, he wouldn't be a championship head coach. If it wasn't for that, then he would. If it wasn't working, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't have changed the culture like he did since he got there, right? So he is doing something right. He was doing something right. But my thing is, the thing with him is, he has at a certain point in time, he comes to a point where he does not want to make adjustments, even though he sees that he probably should make an adjustment. And I feel like when it's all said and done, that is his downfall. That is his downfall. His downfall is the stubbornness to make certain adjustments at a period of time of certain games. And the reason why, and I'm not gonna lie to you, this series and the way they lost, the way they lost this series, this was a bad way to lose the series. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, cause you lost. You let one player beat you, Jimmy Butler. Granted, I'm a Heat fan. I'm happy that happened. But on the other side, as a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I'm pissed off. I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I have Drew Holiday. I have all these other wings that can defend. You left him on Drew Holiday. Now, granted, that's not a bad plan. I'm not saying that. Putting Drew Holiday on somebody is a good plan. That is a good scheme. That is a good idea. But I'm not gonna lie to you. If you see, I don't know what game. I think it was game 4 or game 3 or game 4 when he scored 56. I don't know if you watched the game. I've never seen Jimmy Butler talk so much trash while he's playing basketball. He was literally roasting Drew Holiday and kept talking to him and kept looking at him and kept disrespecting. I'm not saying disrespecting him, but I don't know. I've never seen Jimmy Butler that way. That game was weird to me. I've never seen Jimmy Butler that way. So my mind says, like, Drew Holiday must have said something to him. Drew Holiday must have said something to Jimmy Butler that night that pissed him off. Because every time he took Drew Holiday to the hoop, every time he bust one in Drew Holiday's face, he made sure Drew Holiday knew about it. He turned around and looked at him. He kept talking to him. He kept eyeing him down. Shot after shot after shot after shot. Now, my mindset is like this. If I'm a head coach and I have a perennial first-team all-defensive point guard, a perennial all-first-team defense guard, guarding the best player on the team, and he is getting roasted, I'm switching him. It's like the same thing if I'm playing basketball Saturday mornings with the boys, right? I'm playing, let's say, because James do this all the time. They'll get mad at me, James. So now whenever I'm on the team with James, right, and I got somebody, and then the person keep blowing by me, scoring, shooting, he be like, Alvin's go over here. I got him. Right? That's what Antetokounmpo should have did. You the best player on the team. You were supposed to tell Jimmy Butler, I got him, go over there. But now here's the problem. I'm listening to a press conference with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he said that, listen, during the game, you have certain Jimmy Butler, he's playing and he's, in rhythm and stuff like that, I mean, I would have liked to have been switched to him and see maybe if I could have disrupted. When you say something like that, that means the coach calls you not to switch and guard him. That's why I like watching the press conferences, because there's some certain things that they say, you're like, whoa. So you're trying to say the coach. And I'm clear, I ain't gonna lie. When he said that, I'm like, bro, you kind of like pretty much say that, yeah, the coach ain't let me guard Jimmy Butler and stuff like that. When I seen that, that was when I said, coach might be in some trouble here. Antetokounmpo is the best player on the team. He's the MVP, Finals MVP. If he's saying something about that, that's the problem. There was also reports. I don't know if they were credited reports, but I have a lot of sports pages on my Facebook, and when I was scrolling up, I seen a couple of stories saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo is not going to sign an extension. He's going to wait it out and go into free agency without an extension. So now I already know the organization like, wait, what? You're not going to sign an extension? Something must have had to been talked in the back doors with Antetokounmpo or something like that, saying, like, listen, I need a new head. We need a new head coach. Or the organization must have took it upon themselves and said, listen, man, from what we see, this don't look, it's not looking well. The way you coached this, the way you did this this year, it's not looking well. And this was and certain adjustments. We looking, and you're not making adjustments. You're not making in-game adjustments. You was clearly out-coached by Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra took Mike Budenholzer to the cleaners last series, man. Took him to the cleaners and rinsed and repeated. Did an extra rinse on in the machine. You know how you go back and say, man, I'm just doing the rinse this time. You know what I'm saying? So now, wow. Wow. Winning a championship doesn't mean anything anymore. Minster showed me a picture. Let me see it again. Where the last 4 NBA champions have been fired. Head coaches have been fired. Mike Budenholzer. Mike Budenholzer. And what's the head coach's name? The Toronto's head coach. What's his name? Toronto head coach. I'm gonna get this right. Got Mike Budenholzer just got fired. Toronto Raptors. You got Nick Nurse, who won a championship that 1 year with Kawhi Leonard, got fired. He just won a championship not too long ago. And then you have the Lakers, who won a championship in the bubble championship, and Frank Vogel, he got fired. My God, winning a championship doesn't matter anymore, people. We have gotten to a society where it is a what have you done for me now environment. It's not about what you did for me 2 years ago, what you did for me last year. What have you done for me now? This is a year-to-year basis establishment, a year-to-year basis agreement. And my God, like these times, man, these are new times. These are new times, because those are legitimately good head coaches that are not employed right now. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would not be shocked if Milwaukee go after Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is a very good head coach. Nick Nurse, he makes adjustments quarter after quarter. I've seen Nick Nurse firsthand. I've seen Nick Nurse in person watching the games. Him literally do a coaching clinic. He's a really good head coach. So now, that must have been one of the once they seen that Nick Nurse was available. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Mike Budenholzer, this series, it was a very bad series. That was one of the worst coach series with all that talent. That was one of the worst coach series I've seen in a while. Worst coach games by a head coach I've seen in a while. And then on top of that, the last couple of games, the elimination games, you don't call timeout. You don't call timeout. You don't so they can advance the ball to get a good play. Shouts out to McKenzie. And I was just talking that who I was talking that to. I was just talking to Mitch about that before the show even started. We was just talking about that. We was like me and Mitch was saying, who can they pick up now that Mike Budenholzer gone? And I brought up, I said, you know what about Mark Jackson and stuff like that? Why not Mark Jackson? You know that? Like, Mark Jackson really was the architect for Golden State. Steve Kerr came if Mark Jackson just stayed one more year, we could have been talking about Mark Jackson as the Warriors head coach when it comes to that team. But you got to give Steve Kerr his due. He's a really good coach. So who knows if the system that he would run it would have been, comparable to winning the championships that they have been winning. But Mark Jackson, you know who else? I'm not going to lie to you. Lakers head coach, the one that came from Milwaukee staff, Darvin Ham. This dude, he looks like a preacher to me. But this man can coach, though. He low-key can coach, man. For it to be his first year in the league as a head coach, he's done a really good job, man. They're in the second round of the playoffs, and they're up 1-0 against the Golden State Warriors. You can't do nothing but give him some respect on that. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on that man's name. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's also reports that Mike Budenholzer, during the playoffs, lost his little brother, to a bad car accident. So when I heard that, and I seen those reports, I said, you know what? It makes sense. He probably wasn't in his right mind. He lost his brother, and he still continued to coach. And I don't understand how we don't know about this. Why are we finding this out after? You know what I'm saying? Granted, you got to respect the family's privacy. I understand all that. That's probably why we didn't find out. But what I'm trying to say is, when I found that out, I'm like, okay, he probably wasn't in his right mind coaching those games. He lost his brother. He will never see his brother again. Do you understand that? That's in death. Do you understand that? So now my mindset is like this. I looked at it like, man, he probably wasn't thinking right? But here's the problem. Here's the caveat to that, right? You should have stepped away, man, my brother. You should have. I know it doesn't look like, it's the playoffs, and my thing is like, you lost your brother. See, I always get to this point, right? I always say this, and I continue saying this. Even though, pertaining to even my job, stuff like that, like, there's nothing bigger than the job, man. There's nothing bigger than the job. There's nothing when it comes to family, that there's nothing bigger than the job than family, right? And in my opinion, family comes before my job, man. Period, point blank. Family comes before my job, bro. That is the most important thing to me, besides my job. My job is important. I need to go to work. I gotta pay them bills. You know what I'm saying? I need to put food on the table for them to eat, for us to eat. I get that. But at the end of the day, if I got stuff going on at home, if I got stuff going on with my family, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, bump the job gonna be there. Something happened to you, all the job's gonna do is just replace you and keep it moving. The show must go on. So when it comes to when it comes to um when it comes to the actual job and family comes first, man. Family comes first. Um and in my opinion, he should have stepped away, man. He should have stepped away. And if he stepped away, you never know. They probably would have did better with your assistant, and then you would have came back when you was back in your right state of mind and took over. But by you, this is another thing. Like I say to people, okay, there's nothing wrong with being there on time. I mean, not being on time, but consistently being there day in and day out. Right? I get it. Consistently being there day in and day out. You want to be there for you want to be there for your comrades. You want to be there for the team. You want to be there for. I get all that, but my thing is like this: if you are not at 100%, if you are not at at the right, if you're not like in tip top shape, yeah, you're here. Yeah, you're available and you're here and you're consistent. But at the end of the day, you could be making more, doing more harm than good. You could be a detriment more than helping. You thinking you're helping, you're thinking you're here. You hurting the organization by doing that. Listen. If that is the case, rest in peace. First off, rest in peace to his family. Rest in peace to my condolences to Mike Budenholzer and his family. That's a tough time, and that is a somber time at the current moment. But in my opinion, and if that's the case, the Milwaukee Bucks organization should have him stepped away, right? Because in my opinion, that is the case. You had a brother that died in a car accident. How, like, you really think this man's work is working? Do you really think this man is coaching in the right state of mind? No, that hurts you more than it helps you. And I just felt like if he stepped away, he probably would have still had a job right now instead of coaching it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he stepped away and then they got eliminated in the first round, guess what? Well, we didn't have coach. Now you ended up still coaching, and then you got ousted in 5 games. Now they're looking at you like, nah, you the bad coach. You the problem. And it probably wasn't even the case. Now, granted, Mike Budenholzer is going to get another job. You got a couple of openings already. You got Toronto opening, and you got some other openings. He probably going to get a job this summer. He probably won't stay unemployed. This man just won a championship a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Come on, man. This man is going to be a top candidate. You just got to learn from your mistakes. You just got to learn from you just got to learn from what you've done before and just move forward, man. And, that's just how I look at it. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to get into these games, man. We're going to get into the NBA and really dive into what was going on in the association. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Dude Sports Show, and we'll be right back. We're back and better than ever. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. You got a little game. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, man, hey, I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty good, man. That put my spirits up. That kind of gave me a little energy right there, man. Man, that was pretty good, man. That was good. Hey, that's what, man. Hey, shouts out to Mission and for ones and twos, man. Shouts out, shouts out. But let's get right back into it, man. Um, the Heat, man. The Heat. Before I get into the Heat game, right? And I have to say one thing, bro. Right? And the Heat games, we see a lot of people on the court the courtside seats. We got a couple of celebrities and stuff like that. We see when Miami plays and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean that's normal. But you know, you gotta understand. I haven't watched a Knick game on TV in more maybe a decade. Right? It's been a long time, and I forgot how I forgot how much celebrities like live in New York, and I forgot how much people really show out in these Knick games in the Madison Square Garden. Man, these celebrities are showing out over there in New York, man. It's so many celebrities, man, that's coming to watch these games and courtside and just in general. I have a manifest of just celebrities alone that was there. Dave Chappelle, comedian actor. Chris Rock, comedian actor. Jessica Alba, actress. Tracy Morgan, comedian actor. Fat Joe, rapper. Henrik Lundqvist, New York Rangers legend. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets quarterback. Sauce Gardner, New York Jets cornerback. Jerry Ferrara, actor. Max Greenfield, actor. John Calipari, head basketball coach for the University of Kentucky. Christopher Jackson, actor / Broadway star. Madeline Klein, actor. Rami Vucevic, comedian actor. Richard Schiff, actor. Amanda Serrano, pro boxer. Tim Thomas, New York Knicks alumni. Joe Sean, Joe Sheen, New York Giants, Joe Shane, New York Giants general manager. Sorry if I got the name wrong on that one. Gerald Wilkins, New York Knicks alumni. Sam Worthington, actor. Hank Azara, actor. Hong Chow, actor. Wendell Pierce, actor. Robert Saleh, New York Jets head coach. Hassan Johnson, actor. John Starks, New York Knicks alumni. Amari Stoudemire, New York Knicks alumni. Carmelo Anthony, New York Knicks alumni. Mike Myers, actor. Bernard King, New York Knicks alumni. Jerry Cooney, former pro boxer. John Leguizarno, actor. Marcus Camby, New York Knicks alumni. C.J. Mosley, New York Jets linebacker. Roger Federer, tennis legend. Michael Rainey Jr., actor. CC Sabathia, New York Yankees alumni. That's all the celebrities, former players that night against Miami, man. And that's not even counting whoever we missed. They showed out, man. I've never seen something like that. The bright lights are different in New York for real, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And a lot of people say that, used to say that it's nothing like the Garden. I didn't believe that till I've been watching these last couple of games. The lights are different, man. The lights, like if you watch a Heat game, the lights are kind of like ambient yellow. You watch a Knick game, it's something about the Knick games. The Knick games, the lights are white, like it's a white light. I don't get it. Why can't all stadiums be that way? I don't know, man, but it's something about the New York Knicks Garden. The Garden! Let's get into the game. Miami lost 105-111. Miami was winning most of the game, man. Shouts out to Pat Riley. Wonderful, wonderful general manager, president of basketball operations. 75 points from undrafted free agents, man. 75 points. New York Knicks barely won this game, and Jimmy Butler did not play. Jimmy Butler did not play. We almost won this game, man. And Jimmy Butler did not play. So my mind says it like this. We got this series in the bag. The only thing that I'm worried about, right? The only thing that I'm worried about is I think the New York Knicks had a growth spurt mentally in this game that's going to help them in the long run in this series. They learned how to adjust from our defense. They were struggling with our defense. They were struggling with the Heat defense. They learned how to adjust, and they did. Because every time Jalen Brunson was trying to get in the paint, he was met with that wall. We put up a wall. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna just be confident in my jump shot. And he started making them. And that right there was the turning point of the game. Jalen Brunson said, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to get into the paint. I'm going to trust my jump shot. And that's what he did. He trusted his jump shot, and he started getting into a rhythm, and he started knocking them down. Shouts out to Josh Hart. And there's another person that really, was the turning point for you guys, for the New York Knicks, was Isaiah Hartenstein, man. Isaiah Hartenstein got in there and started getting physical, started getting dirty rebounds, started getting offensive rebounds. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was reminiscent of the play-in game versus Atlanta. I don't know if you remember, when we were playing Atlanta, we couldn't buy a rebound down the stretch. And it started to feel that way with the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks. Josh Hart ended up with 11 rebounds. He had multiple offensive rebounds to have multiple second chance points. And that was the key to them, turning things around. The rebound disparity was 50 rebounds to Miami Heat 34. That's 16 more rebounds than us. They rebounded 16 times more than we did. 50 to 34, that's not going to cut it. We only ended up with 34 rebounds. They had 50. That's not going to cut it. Besides that, that was really the turning point for that. So we just gotta start get tougher. And what I was saying, I'm not gonna lie to you, Eric Spoelstra does a really great job. But the one thing caveat I said when I was watching that game, and I seen that we was getting killed in the middle, down low, they was getting really physical. I said, Coach, you got to put Cody Zeller back in the game. You got to put Cody Zeller back in the game. It should have been you should have put Bam Adebayo out there, Cody Zeller out there. Those two had to stay out there because they were getting physical down low with us, man. They were manhandling us down the stretch, and you only played Cody Zeller 7 minutes. He got to be out there for at least 15. You got to let him out there for another 10 minutes. Those 8-10 minutes of Cody Zeller being on the floor could have been the difference. When Cody Zeller down south banging with them boys, who knows? A couple of those offensive rebounds that Josh Hart could have went to Cody Zeller. A couple of them offensive rebounds that Hartenstein got. Hartenstein played 26 minutes and he had 9 rebounds. You only played 20. You played half of the game with 9 rebounds, almost a double-digit rebounds. That man, he was playing big boy ball with us. The last time we got manhandled like that was the playing game with Atlanta where we couldn't buy a rebound. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I'm gonna say with that. He should have just played Cody Zeller a little bit more. Hayward Highsmith, he did a good job. Or Kevin Love, you're right. Even Kevin Love, you could have played him a little bit more. Kevin Love played in only 24 minutes. At that time, you could have put him back in there to bang with them. So, you know what I'm saying? Because they started to man out of us towards the 50 to 34 is not going to cut it. It's gonna have to be evened out. It got to be like 40-40. It got to be like 45-45. It has to be evened out. It can't be 50 to 34. If next game, if the disparity is a 16 rebound disparity once again, we're gonna lose that game. That can't happen. And the only other thing I have to say is Bam Adebayo, you gotta take over a little bit more, man. 15 points with Jimmy Butler out of the game with not playing. You gotta at least get 25. You gotta have some type of urgency to want to get the ball, want to create, want to make a move in the paint, draw a foul or something. You can't. I understand how you play. You play really good defense, and you play as the game comes to you. But there's a certain period of time where you're the best player on the court. You gotta demand the ball and be more assertive. During the game, it felt like Gabe Vincent was the best player on the court. And he's not the best player on the court. You're the best player on the court. Gabe Vincent was playing like he's an all-star. And he's an undrafted free agent that we got, and he's going to get paid this summer. Don't get it twisted. So my thing is like this. And then on top of that, Kyle Lowry, I'm not going to lie to you, man. My boy starting to look old, man. He is old. I know he's old, but you got people playing. You got Chris Paul, 37, 38, still balling. Like Chris Paul, he barely can run out there, man. He's trying. He's breaking down. This break right here that we're taking is going to really help Kyle Lowry. So expect next game to have a good game for Kyle Lowry because he got an extended break. So we could bank on a good game, 15, 20-point game from Kyle Lowry in that game because he's had an extended break. The game after that, I don't know, because it might be like one day and then after that play again. So he probably, but at least this game coming up, we can expect Kyle Lowry to be a little bit more fresh. Got to get a couple of more massages on that knee, work it out a little bit more, and we can expect a better performance on that. Besides that, we're still in good shape in my opinion. Moving forward, I feel like we're still in good shape. I got to give credit where credit's due with Julius Randle. Julius Randle came in there and he just 25 and 12, 8 assists. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is a good series, man. Great evenly matched series. And we'll see what happens on Saturday. Let's move on. Suns and Nuggets. Listen, man, I'm going to say this one time. I said this already. If Miami gets eliminated, God forbid, I'm rolling with Phoenix because I want Phoenix to win the championship. Because I want Chris Paul, when it's all said and done, with a ring. But when they made that trade for Kevin Durant, I said one thing. I kid you not. I said one thing. I said they gave a little bit. They gave a little bit too much to Brooklyn. They gave away. They gave away. What's his name? So Brooklyn roster. They gave away. What's his name? They gave away Mikal Bridges. I understand all that. But at least keep Cameron Johnson. You don't give away Cameron Johnson and Mikal Bridges. That's the problem I have with the Phoenix trade. Or at least if you're gonna trade away Cameron Johnson and Mikal Bridges, at least ask for Seth Curry back. All right, let me get Seth Curry. So you can at least have a sixth man on the bench you can depend on when they could come in and ball out. Yo, this is the one thing when the trade happened I was worried about, man. I said, man, they have no bench. They traded away their whole bench. All right? Listen, last game, right? Last game they had 70 points. Was it 71 points was attributed was the starters, right? 71 points. No, I'm tripping. Hold up. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So get this, guys. This is how I'm telling you. There was no the trade is great. You got Kevin Durant, but you need a bench. Now here's the problem right here. 83 points was accounted for from the starters. Their starters gave you 83 points. You listening? Your starters gave you 83 points. Right? Your bench. You want to know how much the bench gave Phoenix last game? First off, let's see. How much total points did Phoenix score last game? They scored 87 points. Now let's do the math. Phoenix scored 87 points total, right? The starters alone scored 83 points. The starters alone scored 83 points. And you scored, as a team, a total of 87 points. What does that tell you? That tells me that the bench only scored 4 points. You cannot have that's that much of a disparity when it comes to the bench and the starters, man, in terms of points scored. That shows me that you literally have no bench at all. Zilch, nada, zero, bagel, no cream cheese. Right? Phoenix is in trouble. I'm saying it right now. Phoenix is in trouble. They're down 0-2. Chris Paul. One thing about Chris Paul throughout the years, in the playoffs, you got a couple of years in the playoffs, he has been hurt in the groin. When he gets hurt in the groin, it's a wrap. He doesn't come back. He barely comes back the same player. When I seen he hurt his groin, I said, "Oh Lord, he's pretty much done for the playoffs because he's not going to be the same." Reports are he already won't be here 3 games, 3, 4, and maybe 5. You already don't have a bench. Phoenix is in trouble. One thing I can say about Phoenix, they would have to go and look who's in the free agent market that's not playing that could give you a punch. That could give you a scoring punch. In my opinion, I'm knocking on John Wall's door right now. Bro, you ain't doing nothing, bro. You want to come play in the playoffs? Come through. We know you could give us 15 points. We need you, buddy. We need you, buddy. I'm going. Listen, if I'm Phoenix right now, oh, he's with a team. Let me see if he's with a team or he's a free agent. If I'm not mistaken, he's on the street. He's a free agent. He is a free. Bro, I'm knocking on John Wall's door right now, bro. You want to play in the playoffs, bro? Come on, let's go, bro. We know you can give us 10 to 15 points. You know we can give us change of pace energy. You think you can learn the offense real quick? We need you right now, bro. Because Houston ain't got nobody. Phoenix ain't got no bench. And there's reports that James Jones, he was trying to trade for Kevin Durant. But they did not want to give up. What's his name? They did not want to give up both of their wings. In terms of Mikal Bridges. They didn't want to give up Mikal Bridges. Or Cameron Johnson. He didn't want to give up if he gave up Mikal Bridges, he didn't want to give up Cameron Johnson. If he gave up Cameron Johnson, he didn't want to give up Mikal Bridges. The reports saw the owner came and said, listen, give me Kevin Durant under any circumstances. All right. So he traded everybody for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant! You wanted to be traded. They traded for you, buddy. But guess what? By trading you, they traded the whole bench to get you. So guess what? You have to step up, man. They traded for you. So now you got to look out and ball out. Because they traded for you. By trading for you, because you're so good, they traded away most of their team. So now you have to put the team on your back and propel the team into the playoffs, man. Let's go. We're going to take a quick break. And after that, we'll get into the final segment of the show. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Dude Sports Show. We're here live on Facebook Live, on Facebook, and on Hosanna Radio, and also on Spotify and Apple and all major platforms. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back. We are back and better than ever. Thank you for tuning in. Last segment of the Dude Sports Show. Thank you for tuning in once again on Hosanna Radio every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8. Also on the Dude Sports Show on Facebook Live. You can see us, watch us on Facebook Live, and also after the show, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get right into it. Before I got on the break, I was talking about Phoenix and Denver, and some party touches on Denver. Nikola Jokic is a machine. He's a cyborg, right? He is a machine, right? 39 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists. Contavious Caldwell-Pope. The Suns can use somebody like that right now. 14 points. But the key to Denver having some prominent success this playoffs is not the two-time MVP. It's not the Joker. is Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, a couple of years ago, was phenomenal. Um, 2 years ago, they made it to the Western Conference Finals. He was phenomenal. He went as they went as he went, and he tore his ACL, so it's taken him a couple of years to to get back, and and when you have an ACL